For the majority of this video, I'm going to be trashing Christians, not Christianity. The reason for that is there's a bit of a double standard that I've seen with Christianity. And there's a conversation that I had with a person on Facebook about the definition of love, and I'm going to be going into that. I might be considered a bigot. I might be considered a racist, homophobic, neo-Nazi, whatever. I don't care. I just want to clearly identify what the certain issues that I have with what the modern day culture of Christianity is. And I was going to think about making a video about this. This video that you see before you, is Christianity a white man's religion? And surprisingly or unbelievably, it comes from the unbelievable ? YouTube channel. Anybody who doesn't know what this YouTube channel is, it's a place where Christians debate other people. And it could be Christians debating other Christians about specific things about the Old Testament, whether or not we should take it lightly or should we disband it and go for the New Testament entirely. There's atheism versus Christianity. There's Jewish versus Christianity, Catholicism versus Christianity. So it's a really good channel if you want to see some good debates. Now, it doesn't mean that the Christians have really good arguments. I think there's a lot of the Christians who have arguments, the people who debate on here, I disagree with their methodology or how they explain a certain thing. And again, it's really good challenging for me, and I hope you check it out. But the issue that I have with this video is not just the title. I was going to think about doing this title later after it went live. The issue that I have now is that I posted a comment in the live section, and I was the first one here. Let me rephrase that. Not the first one here, because there was a dislike already, but I was the first person to give a comment into the live chat. That live chat comment no longer exists. I did not delete it. That's the issue that I have. I'm already having an issue with Christians, not Christianity, but Christians. The third commandment of the Bible is, "Thou shalt not use the Lord's name in vain," or "Thou shalt not use the Lord, your Lord thy God in vain," or something. The biggest issue that I have with that is that it doesn't mean me to not say the word God fucking damn it. It doesn't mean to say, well, God damn it. No, that's not the issue that I have with it. It's if a plumber comes to you and is an employee to a plumber's company. There's 10 people who are employed by this one employer of a plumbing company. You hire a plumber, or you hire me. You hire me to come to your house and work on a plumbing situation that you have. I do a horrendous job, charge you double, track mud into the house, and then not finish the job entirely and walk away. How likely are you to do business with that employer, with that company? If the company's name is Bill Joe Fix-It, Bill Joe Fix-It's plumbing company, I'm an employee, I come to you and do a horrendous job, and from that horrendous job, I do a horrible situation in even rectifying this. I have a horrible work ethic, and I just do a terrible job. How likely are you going to do business with that company? Not only that, how likely are you going to be telling other people about the horrendous nature of that company? As an employee of Billy Joe's Fix-It plumbing company, I've fucked their name. I've ruined their credibility as one person. A rotten egg can spoil the batch. A rotten apple can spoil the batch. That's what don't use my name in vain. I'm a Christian. You're poor? Well, you're stupid. Oh, I'm a Christian. You're an atheist? You're immoral and a retard. Okay, well, what? When you communicate that way, it doesn't how you can taint the name of God, of Jesus Christ, by being a shithead in your communication style. Oh, pardon my language. I just knocked over my microphone. Pardon my language, but some certain truths need to be said. You being a Christian doesn't mean I have the shield because I'm for love. Well, what does love mean? Define love for me, which is an argument that I'll get into a little bit more in depth a little bit later on a Facebook chat that I had with somebody that I am no longer friends with. Now, we were Facebook friends, not friends in the real world, which means that we met online on Facebook through another person trying to deal with a business or a communication, trying to get a connection, but we never had any direct contact before that. We were Facebook friends for like 3 years. She posted something that was related to Christianity about the definition of love, and we're no longer friends because I questioned her on it. Now, how I could have handled that conversation, I'm at fault for that. But she wasn't. She was lying to herself, and she was giving me false definitions, and I just didn't let it go. So let's just get into this. Oh, we got another like in my while talking. We got another like. Somebody thinks it's a good thing to think that is Christianity a white man's religion? Oh my gosh, what? So, with what I posted in the live chat that was deleted, and I'm certain that this comment will be deleted as well, and I'll probably make a follow-up where I'll refresh the page and see where this goes in about maybe during the video or after. Is Christianity a black man's religion? Like, is Christianity a yellow man's religion, a red man's religion? Again, saying white and black, I know what you mean, but if you start like really pointing it out, it just becomes nonsensical, because an Irishman and a German, they don't have the same culture. Again, those who are from there. It's not your ethnicity, it's the culture from which you hail. If I said that Kenyans and Jamaicans are the same people because they're black, that would be rather offensive, would it not? But it's okay to do it against a white person because white people have, in history, in maybe totality, have had much more success. Well, there's been lots of murder and bloodshed, not only in the name, but against as well, but we're just going to wipe those things away because we want to point out the certain parts of history, which is critical race theory and whiteness, and you being a white person is bad, but us black people are morally good because we have a culture. That is a thing that people unironically believe, which is very immoral, very wrong, very stupid. So, well, we are made in the image of God. Because of this, no, Christianity is not a white man's religion. Apparently, this was good enough for it to be deleted from a Christian channel. So, again, this YouTube channel deleted this comment because I don't know why. It was probably because of this next comment that I had. Anyone who unironically believes in critical race theory or whiteness being a legitimate thing isn't moral. Well, I'll say that because you think just want to make certain, if Christianity is the most moral standard, period, when we go back to this one sentence, that Judaism, Catholicism, Christianity, and I believe that even Islam can even agree with, we were all made in the image of God. By that statement alone, it's not a white man's, black man's, yellow man's, Asian man's. It doesn't matter what the man. It doesn't matter. We're all made in the image of God. That removes the question entirely. It's a retarded question that makes you, if you start indulging in the question, then you have to actually start caring about white and black, white versus black. Not what us together, unity. No. It's white versus black when you start thinking of, is it a white man's religion? So, yeah, you become an immoral person when you unironically believe that. Yes, that's the hill I'm willing to die on. Why? Because it's immoral to think and, more importantly, value white versus black. Okay, white people have had much more success in the past. What about myself? What about my life? Well, you're white, therefore you have privilege. Where's my privilege? I want privilege. Really, where's my privilege? I want some. Oh my gosh, I got falsely arrested at a birthday party in a different city. And then after I got out, I didn't have enough money to get back. It was like 3 hours away from my city. So that was a really fucked up situation. Where's my white privilege at that moment? 5 cops arrested me because I failed to ID at a college campus when I was at a birthday party for an 80-year-old. Literally an 80-year-old, because I was suspicious. I was signed in, because of that. Oh, where's my privilege? Well, you weren't shot. Yeah, because I didn't pull out a gun. I wasn't, yeah. But again, he called in backup because I looked suspicious. He called in backup and 3 other officers came by. Wow. That was retarded. Yeah, where's my privilege? Well, you didn't get shot. Yeah, because I didn't pull out a gun. I'm like, I wasn't aggressive. I was just being a butt. I wish at that time I did it differently. I wish I would have showed them my ID so I can move on with my life. I was trying to prove a point and it backfired and it chewed me in the butt. That was my fault. It wasn't theirs. It was my fault because of my actions. And then note, I posted this exact comment in the live chat. It was deleted, not by me. I'll be making a video about this. A Christian channel being upset with Christianity. Sad, because we were all made in the image of God. Because of that one statement, the entire section right here, the entire question, the basis of this video is void. Anybody who actually likes this video, I am sad for you that you value this type of dialogue. Is it a white man's religion? No, it's not. And John Lennox is a mathematician from a university in which he stated Christianity is not a religion because religions are merit-based. Christianity is not merit-based, that you don't have to work a certain way like the Latter-day Saints. You don't have to work to make something good. You don't have to work to make God's for him to accept you. At the very beginning, God already accepts you. Now that he accepts you, how are you living? Why are you living this way? It's now on me. It's not on him. It changes when you are to be responsible for yourself, and it changes the context. Of somebody who is loved, why would you act that way? Because I'm already loved. So you're selfish? Again, it changes the context entirely, which is one of the reasons why I'm Christian. It doesn't mean I'm not flawed. It doesn't mean I'm not immoral in some way and in some form and somehow. Maybe some of the ways in which I can communicate can be better. I absolutely agree with that. There's some great things to learn from almost every single religion. I just think the foundation of Christianity, when you start prying at some of the real world things like cause and effect is a thing. There is a moral standard. These three principles that I got from politics, not Christianity or religion, but politics. Because of these three things, I have to start believing in a theistic worldview, and it starts leading me towards Christianity. One, they're cause and effect. I didn't say what thing caused another. I didn't say why it caused it. I just said that there's cause and effect universe. Anybody who doesn't believe that is immoral. For example, how you think and feel has an effect on how you act. That is, by default, a law of the world. If somebody doesn't like something, how likely are you going to how are you more likely going to treat that person? If I don't like somebody, how am I going to treat that person? If I'm not going to if I think or feel based off those things, I'm going to act a certain way. Okay, so number two, there is a moral system in which to abide by. I didn't say which moral system. I didn't say why one moral system is better than another. I didn't say where that moral system came from. I just said there is a moral system. It could be society. It could be my neighbors. It could be from God. It can be from deities all across the universes that exist in all planes of existence. I didn't say which ones. I just said there is a moral system. Anybody who says that there isn't a moral system to abide by and they vote knows that that is entirely bullshit, because what they're doing is a double standard. They're using the law to enforce the law, but they don't themselves believe in the law itself. For example, a lawyer, I can pick on lawyers here, they can use the letter of the law, but what's the spirit of the law? Well, the law says if I pull you over and detain you, I can seize any and all things inside of your vehicle. So if you have $1,000 in cash in your vehicle, I can take that legally. Now, is it moral to do it? No. But legally, you are allowed to do it, but it doesn't make it moral to do. That's why basing people using the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law, which is one of the reasons why I moved towards Christianity. The third thing, you're gonna love this. Responsibility is key. That's it. I didn't say the individual. I didn't say the group. I didn't say my neighbors, the police chief. I didn't say the police officer. I didn't say my neighbors, my friends, my family. I didn't say my statesmen. I didn't say the people across the world. I didn't say it was God's responsibility. I didn't say anybody was responsible. I just said responsibility is key. Now, if we go back through all three of them, let's go through that. One, there's a cause and effect relationship within the world in which we live. Two, there is a moral system in which to abide by. Three, the responsibility is key. And it all comes down to you. And for example, if you have a moral necessity to act. That also applies to the people in positions of power above us, which means my political philosophy must abide by the reality in which we live in, which means I cannot be a Democrat, I cannot be on the left, I cannot believe in critical race theory, I cannot believe in this quote-unquote whiteness, because if I have to believe in whiteness, then I have to believe in blackness, which that would be racist. So whiteness would also be racist. these realities all start to coincide with one another. You can always criticize something to the atom, to the smallest particle. But the issue is you starting to build up a philosophy that actually makes sense. Well, guess what? If I have actions, if I have consequences for my actions, if my actions are based off my thoughts and beliefs and feelings, well, guess what? How I think and feel about things matters. It matters how you think and feel. How you think and feel about other people. It does. Now, to what degree? To what degree? The responsibility is on you, which means that people who are more dependent upon another person, well, we need more leaders. We don't need more followers. And just because you are a leader doesn't make you moral, which is why I'm in favor of decentralization of the amount of power that somebody has over another person. And I believe that you have a moral obligation to act. A police officer saying, it's my job, I'm just doing my job, doesn't mean that they're enforcing a moral belief. It doesn't mean that they're enforcing a moral action. That's a big issue that I have, is that people following the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law. And it doesn't mean that, I might be wrong. I might be wrong on so much. The moment that you say it's subjective, morality is subjective, you've lost the argument, you've lost the point, you're done. Because the most accurate statement, if you say that morality is subjective, you don't like what the other person is doing because your values and what you value, you don't like it. That's the most accurate statement. You can't say that the other person's wrong ever. You can only say, well, the other person, I don't like what they're doing. That's the only thing you can say, because the moment you say that the other person's wrong, then you're enforcing your subjective opinion over another person's subjective opinion, and you believe yours is better because it makes you feel good. And if there's more people that feel the same way as me, well, we can say that this person's a witch, burn them at the stake, and we're justified. Well, this person's an immoral person because they're not in chains. That's how slavery happened. You're not of our tribe. We can other you. You're a Jew. You're not a person like us who are deserving of rights, so therefore we can treat you how we wish. The subjective moral standard. Now, I believe there is an objective moral standard because of the insanity of a subjective moral standard. Because if it's a subjective moral standard, it's always ends with the power over other people. Always. It's either we're going to... It's three things. Fight, flight, or freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze. We're either going to agree or accept. We're going to either walk away or we're going to clash. And one of us is going to win. Guess what? If I'm not able to walk away, and if I can't agree with you, then one of us has got to win over the other person. And that's why, you know what? Just because you win, the method by which you win, because what if you win with a bunch of, through democracy? Well, a bunch of people voting for something doesn't mean that the people who are voting for that thing is a moral position. Maybe a bunch of people just want a person to win. For example, democracy in politics. You want somebody to be in a person of power, in a position of power. Why is that person moral? Because the group decided so? Okay, so if whatever the group decides is the moral case. So if a person decides to elect somebody who is an immoral, abhorrent dictator, therefore, it's moral that people die at his hands. What retarded logic that is because of the inability. Oh, somebody gave another like to this. Y'all are retarded. Well, you can't say people are retarded. Not if they're acting retarded. Christianity is a white man's religion. I want to see this. I'm not going to watch it one iota. I might actually have to. Actually see what they actually talk about, because there might be some good points in here. I'm very begrudging now because they deleted a comment. Now let's see if they actually deleted my comment of all this time. I'll probably get into that Facebook problem, the Facebook situation. Yep. Okay. It not having any likes, they probably could have blocked me or whatever. I don't know. Dumbest discussion ever. Look forward to watching this. As an African, I have struggled with the connection between missionary work and colonialism. Thank you for... Okay. Well... Okay. I'm just going to do this. Well, we are all made in the image of God because of this. No, Christianity is not a white man's religion. It's like... Yeah. I don't know if I can. Okay, there we go. And we'll see how far that goes. No, Christianity is not a religion. It isn't, because it's a relationship with God and with Jesus Christ, and through your relationship with Jesus Christ, you are already accepted in the eyes of God. You're already accepted. We're all made in the image of God, but then us choosing to go with Jesus Christ as a relationship factor, that is what changes that's the paradigm shift. It's a relationship, and through that relationship, you're already accepted. You're already accepted, and how you act within that relationship is on you. What can I do to give, to grow, to learn, to understand? That's how at least I understand it. Oh my gosh. Anyone who says the word colonialism it's a buzzword for me. Oh, colonialism? You mean white people or people conquering another and then establishing their own worldview? You mean people who, you must believe this thing? Okay, what if I choose to not accept? Well, then you're not going with the group, and if you're not going with the group, then therefore you're an immoral person? What if the group is wrong? Well, you just need to get with the times. You're against history. It's like, oh, fuck off. Like, what? Oh my gosh, people unironically believe this. I am sorry for y'all. I really, really wish that y'all have some epiphany to realize that Christianity is not a white man's religion. To understand that Christianity, that this whiteness shit is stupid. It really is. And at some point I'll probably make an update that my comment has been deleted. That'll probably be funny. Now, I'm probably ghosted. They probably deleted I don't know. This would be kind of interesting. But unbelievable, because you posted this question, I was like challenging the really tough questions. Okay, is Christianity a white man's religion? Let's ask, is Judaism a white man's religion? No. It's a set of beliefs and values that you act. It has predominantly been with the Jewish people, the Jewish culture, the Jewish ethnicity. It has often been associated with Jewish ethnicity. But Judaism is not a white man's or a Jewish ethnic requirement. It's not. It's so stupid to think that way. You become a dumb person when you think in those terms. This is going to be an interesting. Oh man, this is so stupid. Anyways, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for everybody for actually stayed this long listening. You know what? Because of that, let me share this last little bit with the Facebook argument that I had, because I did tease it a little bit at the beginning. I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook because they posted something of Jesus Christ is love, and if you hate homosexuality, well then you're not a Christian. Okay. Let's take theism, let's take Christianity, let's put that all to the side right now until the end of the conversation. I have come to not agree with the homosexual lifestyle. Wow, why could you ever do that, you hateful bigot? Because putting a penis in a butthole where poop comes out is not a moral thing. It's not. You loving somebody doesn't mean that you have to have sex with that person, which is weird. It's like, I love my family. I don't have sex with them. It's a different feeling. It's a different thing. It's called sexuality. It's not love. You can have love with somebody and your sexual desire with them can unfold, but sexuality is different than love. I can love my wife. Not having sex with them is not a good thing. Now, unless it's like we both agree that that's the thing that we don't want to do, but again, family matters more than you living a individualistic or bachelor lifestyle. That's why the whole men get on with their life, whatever, MAGTOW or whatever it's called. I disagree with it entirely, because let's assume that every single man was to have that philosophy. There was somebody who was during one of those, I think it was 21 Studios, where there was a man who was in his 50s or 60s, and he was having sex with his 21-year-old woman. He had like 3 women on the side or something. It's like, and one of the things that he mentioned was, you giving your woman the best orgasms is the best thing you as a man can do. And I was dumbfounded by that question, because isn't it about family first? Because again, let's apply, if everybody in the entire world, the only objective, the primary objective is to give their counterpart the best orgasms possible. Well, what about family? Because if everybody was just focused on orgasms, well, what about family? What about the next generation? What about the hard work that is required to actually establishing maybe a more non-superficial relationship after the sex? Then maybe should we talk a little bit? No, let's just keep having sex. It's like, at some point I'm gonna be bored with sex. I want to move on because I'm a little bit more mentally requiring of stimulation. I require a little bit more mental stimulation than, wow, you have big breasts, or wow, my penis feels really good in your vagina, in your vaginal crevice. Doesn't that sound appetizing? Your vaginal crevice with my prick. Anyways. Which was, again, it's a very baffling thing. If we apply one standard and apply it to all people, is it a morally good thing? Like, you as a person are required to live however you want to live. Okay, well, what about government? What about politics? That interferes with how I want to live, which means that there is a level of requirement for me to act a little bit better, a little bit beyond myself, which means that the individualistic lifestyle is not a thing. Because the moment you become a family member, there's a requirement that you help another person, not you. There's something built in that we help another person. There's something that we help another thing. And if we want to talk about evolution, sometimes evolution is counter to what we believe to be moral, because we have adopted Christianity as a value system. Because I get a kick out of people who are atheists. Atheists! Who use the word God damn it, or oh my God, unironically. Oh my God. It's like, why would you use that phrase if you're not a Christian? If you're not Jewish, if you're not a Muslim, if you're not a Catholic, if you're not a Catholic, if you're not even a Buddhist, oh my God. It's like, no, there is no God, but oh my God. Why would you ever say that? That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, there's no Christian morality that has ever been infused with me, but oh, Jesus Christ, as they say unironically, as when they are trying to cuss. It's like, oh my fucking Christ. Why would you say that if you're not a Christian? Because I'm not a Christian. That's why I say it. It's like, well, what about Christians who do? Like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. That's weird. Anyways, but the reason why I have a disagreement with the homosexual lifestyle or homosexuality is because within Christians, not Christianity, they often blur the lines between love and sex. And love, I can love somebody and not like them and have a very hard relationship with that person. But I must treat them with kindness and respect the best of my ability. Love is not comfortable sometimes. Love can be uncomfortable. My love to a dog is not dependent upon whether or not the dog poops on the carpet or pees on the wall. Because if the dog does that, you correct the behavior, you don't punish them. To love them is to correct their behavior, to act accordingly. So you can live, if you want to live in this household, this is what you have to do. And if not, I have to give you up because of certain things. I may not be able to manage you. I may not be able to take care of you. The amount of money that it might be required to own a pet, which is something that I actually considered 3 times. I found like 4 or 5 dogs on the street. I wish I kept 2 of them. And then I adopted 3 or 4 of them, but I realized, like, man, I really want a dog, but the place in which I'm living, the amount of money that I'm making, the amount of time that I can actually give to the dog, is not good. I had a conversation with somebody probably within the last 3 months where they have a roommate who's off traveling, doing business, legitimate business. And they own a dog, and he has to keep the dog in a cage while the roommate is at work. And pretty much the roommate's taking care of the dog. And I talked to the roommate. That's an issue. That's an immoral thing to do to a dog. Why don't you give the dog to somebody who can at least play with the dog while you're not there? Well, it's my dog, and I get to do whatever I want with the dog. It's like, that's an immoral act. So going with homosexuality is something that I disagree with. Let me say something that might be kind of contrary to everything that I said. I love fapping to many quote-unquote immoral things online. One of them being femboys. One of them being she-males. It's awesome. It's fun. Is it good? No. No, it's not. It's like smoking a cigarette. If I say to somebody smoking cigarettes is a bad thing, and then somebody comes up to me, hey, you're smoking a cigarette. You can't tell people not to smoke cigarettes. What you're doing is you're claiming an authority. You're claiming authority. Because I am not this person, I can't talk about the truth, about reality. You can't shoot somebody because you've shot somebody in the past. Yes, and I've learned that it's a wrong action. Well, you've shot somebody in the past, therefore you have now never a claim to say over another person. You can't shoot another person. Let them shoot another person. Like, what? Here's a reality that is true regardless of how I act, regardless of how I think or feel or believe, that or regardless of who I am as a person, there is a truth that is true regardless of me existing. So, like, because you do this hypocritical thing, as a hypocrite, I don't listen to hypocrites. Okay, cool. Well, don't talk to me then. As we're all hypocrites in some regard, and if we're all hypocrites in some regard, then I guess everybody's a hypocrite and can't talk about other things. You mean a child can't talk about the truths of realities of life because they are not of a certain PhD, they don't have a certain background, they're not from a certain class, they don't have a certain ethnic skin color or ethnicity or skin color, they're not of a certain sex or gender, so therefore they can't talk about something? You're again going to the claim of authority. I'm not saying that I'm a person of authority. I'm saying that this is something that is true. This is why I disagree with it. And again, the reason why homosexuality is something that I disagree with, which I've been playing around for a while, is, well, again, you're putting a penis inside of a butthole where poop comes out. Why is that immoral activity? That same energy could be making a child. Well, I don't want to have a child. Okay. Why is it a moral thing, evolutionary-wise, to have or not have children? Well, it's like we need to not have children because we need to have less people in the world. Start with yourself. No, I want to continue living. And I want to continue influencing things. Why is that the moral thing? Why don't you just let another person give that opportunity? Because of self-preservation? Okay, so self-preservation may be something of fundamental value that is true regardless of whether or not you're here. And if that's true, and again, if we're going to go with subjectivity, well, then it's just your preference over mine. But I'm claiming of an objective morality, which means that I can be wrong. And I need to learn what the correct answer is rather than you just subjecting me to that subjective point of view. Again, it's so baffling. It really is. And then because of this one argument, it's like I disagree with it. I never brought up religion or Christianity. I don't think I have once used Christianity as an authority as to for the last 5, 10, 20 minutes as to why I disagree with homosexuality. Homosexuality is you putting a penis inside of a butthole. You sucking on a penis and getting the cum out of it, and how is that a moral activity? Because it feels good. And usually the basis of homosexuality is because it feels good. So we should base off our moral standards by what feels good? Paying taxes doesn't feel good. Why do I have to do it? Because you have to act accordingly and act as a standard beyond yourself. You mean what religion says? Okay, so my question is why don't you just, adopt a child with a woman and live that way? Because it doesn't feel good. So it's based off whatever feel good, but I can't do what I want. I have to do what you say because subjectivity always leads to power over other people. It's either we're going to clash, we're either going to fight, flight, or freeze. Either we're going to accept or agree. We're going to agree or accept, walk away from each other, or we're going to clash and one person has to dominate over the other. One person's going to win. And that usually comes through the authority claim that I'm of a certain person or of a certain class, or you're of a certain person or of a certain class. You're a bigot, therefore anything that you say is bigoted. You are this, therefore you are a homophobic person, so therefore anything you say is skewed with this homophobic philosophy. You are a shithead, therefore anything that you say is shitheadedness. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I didn't use Christianity as an authority claim. Here's the reality of life. This is what I agree with. These are the certain values that I believe to be true. And if I am wrong, what are the certain things that I should be believing in? And it's one of those things that's kind of like a circular logic. I was not going to be making a video today. I was not expecting it because I have a life to live. And it doesn't mean that my life's better than yours. I'm simply saying that I really do need to be weighing certain actions over others, and making videos takes time, even though it's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, and then plus editing, it's like 40 minutes tops. Then maybe worrying or even thinking about where I need to be going with the videos and if I'm going to be creating this into a long-term business, which is one of the reasons why I don't really focus on YouTube as a whole. But, when I want to make a video, then I think it's a really good option for me to do. These are the things that I'm usually thinking about behind the scenes. And, I might be wrong in everything that I just said. And this all sparked, well, that's actually kind of a build-up, is that this YouTube channel deleted the top comment, man. That's crazy. Like, dumbest discussion ever. Absolutely agree with you. I'm going to thumbs that up because I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know. But the whole point is that we're made in the image of God. That's what Christianity is. It's a relationship with Jesus. It has nothing to do with your background. It has everything to do with your foreground. That regardless of where you came from, it's you as a relationship with the person that you are having a relationship with. You as a person, how you relate with that person. And relate in Jesus Christ, regardless of whether or not being true or false, the psychological ramifications, the consequences that happen from you believing in Jesus Christ as a person for you to have a relationship with. That is something that just cannot get out of my mind. Because again, one of the reasons that I came to Christ, towards Christianity, is the psychological ramification. I'm probably using the ramification wrong, but psychological consequences. Your philosophy, your thoughts, your feelings, and the actions thereof. If I believe a certain thing and I do the opposite, does that mean the philosophy's wrong? Maybe, not entirely. For example, how many people does it take to make a bad egg? Means that this religion is false? Or is it a standard that we just cannot possibly uphold? Maybe I should treat another person because they are also made in the image of God. That maybe I shouldn't be calling somebody a dickhead, a dimwit, a shithead, stupid, retarded. Maybe I shouldn't be calling these things because they are also made in the image of God. But if you if I'm a Christian, you say you can't do that as a Christian, it's like, okay, well, can you do anything you want not being a Christian? It's like, yeah. Okay, why? Because I want to. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Do you vote? Yes. Or if you don't, I have respect for you. If it's people who claim subjective morality and don't vote, I absolutely am respecting of your position. I really do. That's the intellectually consistent philosophical position. But if you say that there is no objective morality and then say there is only subjective morality, and I vote. The biggest issue I have with that is you're putting somebody in a position of power and with whom I disagree with, I might be put in jail and getting butt-fucked my entire life. I might get raped. And if I don't act a certain way in prison, I'll probably get stabbed too. But it's okay to put myself in there because you don't like what I do, because you're putting somebody in a position of power that you're giving them the liberty to do whatever they want, and all you have to do is put your hands up and say, well, it wasn't me that put you in jail. That's why I think that people who vote, you need to have a moral standard of here's how I should act, here is how I should think, here is how I should behave beyond myself, that there's a standard that I should be going towards. There's a goal I should be going towards beyond this current present moment. Just because of this current present moment that people are being abused, it doesn't mean that that abuse is what's moral in society, which is often a thing that people use as an argument for abortion, is that, well, the viability is of right now. Well, what about the potential of the child? Well, that doesn't matter because right now the woman, the mother doesn't want to, the mother doesn't want to take care of the child. But what about the father? Well, the father is not responsible. It's the mother's child. If that's the case, then why do child support at all? Because if the child is owned by the mother exclusively within the womb, and the man has no say, when it's outside of the womb, the man has to pay, and the woman can take the child and be on her own. That's a misandric. What's the word? It's like misogyny is the against female, and then what's against the male? Misandry. I think it's misandry or something. Misogynic. Misandry. I think so. Anyways, it's just these type of philosophies, these intellectual consistencies and inconsistencies has led me towards Christianity, because when you start pointing out the flaws of, like, is Christianity a white man's religion? No. Done. We're moving on. The conversation is null and void because of one freaking statement within the Old Testament of the Bible, specifically in Genesis, that we were all made in the image of God. That statement alone. Everybody who believes in this type of shit, like this guy at the very bottom who says that he's African, I'm looking forward to watching this video. As an African, I have struggled with the connection between missionary work and colonialism. Thank you for exploring these challenging questions. I'm sorry that you had to go through what you went through to value this type of question as being a valid question. It's not white, it's not black, it's not yellow. And if you think it's offensive to say yellow, well, then we need to stop saying white and black. Look forward to watching this missionary work and colonialism. Okay. Well, we are all made in the image of God because of this. No, Christianity is not a white man's religion. Done. Plain and simple. You disagreeing with that doesn't mean that I'm not flawed or wrong. It just means that the position or the truth behind that statement is why I'm defending it. How I could be saying it could change. The way I communicate can change and could be better. I agree with that. I mean, regardless of whether or not I agree or disagree, it doesn't mean that It doesn't, just because I agree or disagree, just because I believe it to be true, doesn't make it so, or does it not make it so. That there's a truth, there's a standard, there's a truth outside of myself. That's something that I just cannot imagine not being true, because that is true. Oh. My city's emergency alarm siren is going off. I think it's just a test, though. Hopefully it's a test, and there's not like a worldwide apocalypse. That would suck. I have plans today. So, anyways, thank you very much for being a part of this video. Thank you very much for sticking to the very end. The fact that somebody would actually want to listen to anything that I have to say is actually something that I need to be very appreciative of, because that's your time that I wouldn't say that I'm taking, but hopefully I'm giving. And I'm giving a value for someone out there, just adding value to their life. Man, that's a thing that I would say that's a tough pill to swallow, because I remember being so focused on the numbers, like, oh my gosh, what's the numbers? What are my numbers on this video? How many people do I get for that video? Instead of just focusing on the actual content of the video, just being as sincere as possible. And if I just get one person to even watch it, that's more than I had. One person liking what I have to say. That's fascinating. That really is. And it's very humbling too. It's like I was able to help another person. I was able to give another person time, value for the time that they gave or something. So thank you very much for being a part of this. Please post your comments, questions, and concerns right down below, because I do want to hear from you. Please smash that like, share, and subscribe button, because that would greatly help this channel out. And the most important thing that I would love for you to do is please enjoy the rest of your day, and I will be seeing you next time. Beep.